We're back. Cracking it open.
Ooh, I got a little Sprite in there. I kind of like that. Alright.
M. Stone.
Josh
Burnett.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Alright.
Another week. Let's get into it.
One more.
We'll wait for our buddy LeBron here. We'll wait for him.
We'll
wait. One more. Let's
Yeah,
start football. Let's start a little football. We got the Super Bowl coming up. I don't know if there's really been anything wild coming out of the... I don't think there's really been too much trash talk.
No, not really.
Not really, you know...
I
mean, Sirianni, a little bit, said he was snubbed by Andy Reid.
Andy Reid did then say, well, I think it turned out pretty well for him.
Right,
so.
yeah. I don't know if at this point we're reaching for it. I'm trying to think if there's really been anything else. It looks like the Chiefs are going to be at least a little bit healthy going into the game. Looks like everybody's playing.
Snead's playing.
I believe.
I saw that, I think.
With Juju's good to go.
Let's see who was. Yeah, I think it was Philly's defense isn't losing sight of how efficient Kansas City's ground attack is.
Yeah, I mean,
when they actually run the ball.
That's regardless. Yeah.
They don't do it very often, though.
I know a couple of places. ESPN had it all day today that Pacheco was the key to winning that game.
Well, he absolutely is.
I mean, he's going to be a big part of it. And I saw the early. You know, we started off. We did a lot of predictions. Besides the quarterbacks, who's going to win MVP?
Outside the quarterback?
Outside the quarterback, I think the Chiefs. It's got to be Kelsey, right? I think he's going to be the man on offense.
Yeah, I would say so.
I saw for the Eagles, a Hassan Reddick flying up on the underdog, but you could bet on him. But he was getting up there pretty good, so he might be.
I'm
some
not
guys
upset
to
by
watch.
that.
I'm not horribly upset by that.
Defense is usually you gotta show out though.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, you gotta have. If Reddick wants, he's going to have 2-3 sacks, a fumble force, fumble recovery, probably a touchdown.
Yeah.
We'll see how the game goes. I'm excited. I still like the Eagles. The more and more I look at it, the more I like the Eagles.
Yeah.
They haven't played the top tier caliber teams, but you know what? They've beat what they had to beat.
Yeah.
What else can you say? I mean, they destroyed the Giants. Vikings couldn't do it. 49ers, bad luck.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? But yeah, I don't know if there's really anything else kind of wild to talk about football. I mean, I think it's just. I mean, maybe you want to get into the Pro Bowl. It was okay.
It was all right. I mean, it was a step in the right direction.
I watched it to see what it was.
Yeah.
I was going to watch something anyway because we were here working. But it seemed like the players mostly liked it.
Yeah,
there's here or there they were like, whatever. But yeah, I don't know if there's really anything else as far as Super Bowl other than. Obviously, the game, which is going to be
the
awesome.
only thing that for some reason, it only got talked about once. I think that I had ever seen.
Yep.
The Eagles tackle there, Josh Sills, with the whole.
Oh yeah.
Not the right kind of publicity that you want coming into Super Bowl week.
No, absolutely not.
What was it? It was rape and false imprisonment or something.
Yeah. Oh, and for the record, LeBron has just. Got the record. We'll get into it later, but they have stopped the game.
Oh, of course. Of course.
21-foot point. There's 10 seconds left.
Was it actually a 3-pointer?
No, it's 2-pointer.
Oh, okay.
2-pointers. We'll get into him later. We'll get into it later. But yeah, they just updated it. Crowd's going nuts.
Yep.
So, all right, let's stick with football real quick. There's some things that probably worth noting that's happened today. Well. The big one is the Saints giving the okay to meet with Derek Carr. I kind of think that's a good fit.
I don't hate that at all.
I don't hate it. If basically we have to find out probably by the next time we do a podcast because it's going to be they need to figure it out before February 15th.
Yeah, realistically. Because. Yeah, that's when all the money starts making things happen. No?
Yeah, so if they don't trade Derek Carr by the 15th, basically $40 million guaranteed, essentially. If they trade or cut him, it frees up $30 million this season.
I've seen a lot of things per my sources, which is per Pat McAfee's sources,
yep,
that there's a pretty likely possibility that she got.
Just
why would anybody trade for him?
Again, this. Do you know what this?
We haven't seen any big Ian Rappaport or anything like that going, oh, there's big talks with Derek Carr and whatever team. And so why would you trade for him?
And I think realistically, if you trade for him, this is what the Raiders are going to get. Maybe a 6th, maybe a 7th round pick. Probably very similar to Baker Mayfield getting traded last year. You have to trade him. Everybody knows you have to trade him. But the same, you look at the teams who need a quarterback. Then you look at teams who could use a veteran quarterback, and then it's which one of those teams can pay the $40 million cap hit that is Derek Carr. The Saints are currently way over the salary cap. I think they are. Yeah, they're actually with a quick 5-second check. They are $60 million over the cap already.
60.
Yes.
Oh.
With only.
Yeah. What's another 40 then?
What's another 40? I mean, that's fine. And I mean, they're going to have to do a lot of reworking just to get under.
When the fuck did they give up on Michael Thomas?
Well, he's a free agent, I believe, right? Or no, he's not a free agent.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought he was still under contract. When did they just give up on him?
Man.
Guys played, 3 games in the last half a decade?
And I don't... I mean, realistically, Jameis Winston's probably gone. That's $13 million.
Yeah.
I mean, you start looking in there like Cameron Jordan, $15 million, and then
him and what's his name there?
I mean, Lattimore's safe, Ramchek's safe.
What's the middle linebacker there? I always confuse his name with D'Amico Ryans, but it's D'Amico something, I think.
D'Amico, I'm not sure who you're talking about. Their middle linebacker?
Yeah, he's real good. He's got the long dreads.
Oh, Demario Davis.
Yeah, there you go.
Demario Davis. Yeah, he's $7.5 million. I mean,
but it's him and Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan, and Lattimore are the cogs of that defense,
right?
And they have been for years. I can't. I wouldn't get rid of Cam Jordan. I don't care if it's $15 million. I'm not getting rid of Cam Jordan.
No. I mean, there's really... Unless there's some... I don't really follow the cap situation of the New Orleans Saints super well. But, I mean, they got a lot of moves they're going to have to make. They're going to have to do a lot of restructuring just to be able to play this season.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see it. I think if you can make it work, he would be a good fit.
But I like Carr to the Jets.
Carr to the Jets, that's a good fit. I mean, I think
that's a legitimate playoff football team. Carr to the Jets.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, the Jets really aren't losing anybody. I mean, the Jets could be good, but...
Their receiving core is disgusting.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, all of a sudden, they've got pieces. They've got pieces, but, I mean, I think regardless, at the end of the day, I don't see any... You look through it. For people who don't trust us or believe us, go to Over the Cap, go to Sports Track, look it up, and look at teams that are even remotely close to Derek Carr, what they can afford, and the choices are real slim. And some of them, it's why? I mean,
the Bears, why?
Bears won't. I mean, what do the Falcons get out of it?
Nothing.
Giants are there, but I mean, at that point, wouldn't you just rather roll the dice on Daniel Jones again?
Somebody who actually knows the system.
Texans, I doubt. I doubt Ryan is going to. And there's been some chatter about D'Amico Ryans passing on a quarterback, and I can't imagine.
That seems like a lot to me.
Especially nowadays where the coaches are getting fired in 2-3 years.
You're going to run with Davis, Dougie Mills.
You can't, right? You can't. How do you bet your...
He doesn't look bad, but that's not...
He doesn't look bad, but...
You're telling me he's going to be a playoff quarterback?
I don't know. Again, at the end of the day, Derek Carr visiting the Saints, getting permission to visit the Saints. I don't really see anything. I don't see anything of value there.
No, me neither.
Again, and then it's I guess, the one thing that they could do is kind of like what Cleveland did, where they ate a lot of the money for Carolina to take them.
Yeah.
Maybe you do that, but at the end of the day, they only own $5 million if they cut him or trade him.
Yeah.
That's all you're getting out of him. It's not like where Baker Mayfield was his fifth-year option. He was guaranteed money. You could move it around.
Yeah.
Regardless, we were talking. We saw it. It was kind of big news because I mean, if you look at the current rosters of the NFC South, Carolina has one quarterback, Matt Corral. I believe the Falcons have Desmond Ridder and Mariota under contract.
Is Mariota even under contract?
Yeah, he had a 2-year.
Okay.
Tampa Bay has Kyle Trask,
which I kind of like him,
and
but
then
he needs
the
development.
Saints have Winston.
The Red Rocket, not even the Red Rocket.
I think he's a free agent.
Yeah,
I think he's a free agent. So,
hey, if you can throw a football, you want to head down south. Take a shot at it.
Someone will take you. Someone will take you.
Matt Corral's on the team.
And I mean, this is going to be the first big domino. Derek Carr's got to go somewhere by the 15th.
Another intriguing one? Well, I mean, he's not quite as intriguing because Derek Carr's got to go now.
Yeah.
But Jimmy G's another one.
Yeah, I mean,
Kyle Shanahan said goodbye.
I think this is going to be wild because Jake, you have the first domino, obviously, is Derek Carr.
A multiple-time Pro Bowl quarterback.
Right? I mean, I'm still not sold on McDaniels as a quarterback. Or as a coach. I don't know. We'll see this year where it is. But he's had his chances, and I don't know. Man, I don't know. But regardless, Derek Carr will be the first one. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers will be the second one, but
I don't see it.
Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers right now.
Okay.
Let's talk about him right now because he came out with some interesting news yesterday and today. Is interesting an understatement?
I love him.
So, we talked about this last week, for those who watched and those who listened. It seems every week we're talking about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aaron Rodgers. Wow. So Aaron Rodgers has decided that he is going to take, in the next couple weeks, presumably after the Super Bowl, a 4-day dark period where there's nothing but darkness.
Do you think he Instagram lives it and says he's going dark?
I would. I don't know. Maybe.
Do you know how much I would feed into this thing that everybody thinks I'm insane? I would. Here.
I mean, we're
keep throwing logs on it. Just throw logs on it.
The darkness retreat is what he's calling it. Yeah. I just hope that. Let me start here. Because I have questions for you as a. Oh man, this guy's offering to sell us some stuff. We'll get into that later. We'll get into that later. Wow. Is there anything that Aaron Rodgers could do? So you're a Green Bay Packer fan. You're an Aaron Rodgers fan. At this point, is there anything that he could do where, you're like, you know what? He's too big of a distraction to the team. I want to start there.
I mean, if you want to go pulling Kyrie type things, then sure.
So we're kind of drawing the line at Kyrie, which is a good line to draw. Let's get us there.
Sure, Aaron's a goofy dude. He does all these weird. He's not fucking hurting nobody. He's not saying anything mean.
Right. I guess I just.
That's my thing. It's not like he's saying like, oh, I hate Jews or something like that.
Well, yeah, Kyrie's a lot, and we'll talk about Kyrie later. But I'm just
that's
wondering.
Where I'm at, honestly.
I'm just at this point where he's gonna take a 4-day dark retreat.
I mean, he said hallucinogens might be involved.
Absolutely. I mean, he did his big thing where he did DMT and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
If
I want him to do so many hallucinogens that he thinks it's light outside.
Do you think his teammates are over this? Do you think they care? Does it matter if they care?
No, I don't think it matters if they care.
I mean,
can I say? Because honestly, I think he was doing weird shit like this before he was ever talking about it.
Right.
So, what does it matter?
Yeah. I mean, it's just...
Because there's no way within the last 3 years this guy just went from normal dude, I guess, if you want to say, to hippie. There's no way you just went, hippie.
Yeah. And
honestly, from the West Coast. From Cali.
He's a Cali guy. And he did talk about it yesterday, because we talked about it last week, where he did talk about the Niners fan, saying, "Hey, when you come to play for San Francisco," and he chalked it up to that was well-timed trash talk by that whoever yelled it. So, he did bring up that he is a Green Bay Packers quarterback and he plays for Green Bay.
And then
I don't know.
there was a Raiders fan that asked if that's saying that Devontae Adams wanted a neighbor, and Aaron told him, well, he could buy me a house. He got all that money. Which was beautiful, incredible.
So, I think
won the Pro-Am.
Won the Pro. I definitely still think, though, that the more and more that comes out of it, I think he's doing this as a...
He's trolling people.
Because I honestly, you brought it up a couple weeks ago, and you were like, you know what? If he would have retired, it would have been last year. It doesn't make any sense for him to retire this year.
It literally doesn't.
They have a super young team. They should be better this year than next year.
Can we fire Joe Barry at some point? That guy stinks.
Joe Barry. Who is Joe Barry?
He's the defensive coordinator. Guy stinks. Can Jair Alexander be the D coordinator?
Well, we talked about that a lot. There was a lot of games this year that maybe they could have won. I mean, all they had was win once. All they had to do was win one more, and they were in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about the Bills game where Stephon Diggs torched him in the first half, switched Jair on, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh.
Who?
Yeah, I was like, oh. I mean, they didn't have to throw it as much because they were up big, but still, it's Diggs, and he only had a catch or two in the second half. But yeah, no, it's just you look at their team and you're like, wow, like there's something there. I mean, the Detroit's going to be better. I mean, they got a real nice young team. Who knows with the Vikings? The Vikings, I think, just made a great hire with Brian Flores.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I mean, they're going to need the players now.
Yeah.
They had some players we kind of looked through, and they had some really nice pieces.
My favorite was that Zadarius Smith, after like the first four games, fell straight off a cliff.
I mean,
they're actually like the first half. It was like he was real good the first half. Second half, it was like he went into hibernation. And I love that.
And it's going to be interesting to see what Minnesota does because, I mean, they're kind of stuck with Kirk Cousins, right? I mean, but
speaking of, he won the flag football game for the.
He did.
Did he beat the curse?
He did. Did he beat the curse? Does that count? I don't know. Does that count?
As soon as I saw that he was the third game quarterback, I go, oh, here we go.
Yep,
AFC just walked away with it.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
So that was pretty fun. It was fun to watch that and say that Kirk was going to blow it and then...
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, again, at the end of the day, I think Aaron Rodgers ends back up with Green Bay and he plays this year.
Yeah.
If
he gets moved, it's not going to be of his own volition.
Right. And
honestly, I don't know if he will play for somebody else. Would he just say, "Oh, you're going to get rid of me, then I'm going to retire"?
For the kind of, I mean, listen, we don't really know. We don't know personally Aaron Rodgers. We're not friends with him. We have no inside information. I mean,
where's AJ Hawk?
If he still wants to play, there's a couple of really good spots for him, right? Like,
where's he going?
Brett, where's he going? But there's a couple of really good spots for him. I mean, the Jets are obviously an obvious choice. The 49ers are an obvious choice. The Raiders kind of make sense because he's got Devontae Adams there. But besides that, I don't know what else,
Yeah.
So there's a handful of teams that you could be like, hey, if we put Aaron Rodgers on there, they're probably a playoff team. I can't see him going to the Raiders. I can't see him saying, hey, you know what? For my last year or two, I'm going to battle with Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes. I don't really
whatever's left of Russell Wilson.
Yeah, and I mean, did they have Sean Payton last week when we were on here? We talked about that.
I think we did, yeah.
I mean, we're going to see if Sean Payton can salvage anything. But, I mean, I can't really...
It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I think the Jets make more sense because Buffalo definitely cooled off in the second half. And without Von Miller, I mean, they barely look like a playoff team. I still think he ends up with with the Green Bay.
Yeah, I do too. I just don't see it. It doesn't make any sense.
I just wanted to bring it up there because I feel like it's... I said it last week. I said it the week before. I'm like, man, he goes on Pat McAfee and he gives you these sound clips that maybe he's going to play, maybe he's not going to play. I mean, I guess the one benefit is they have Jordan Love. They do have Jordan Love. So what does Green Bay care if Rodgers comes back or not? Not saying that they don't care, but if he leaves them high and dry, you have your future.
Prized possession.
You have your future, we'll say, because we'll see how that goes. But just throwing it out there.
When do they realize that their ring that they think they have, their Schmeagol ring, when do they realize that it's like a ring pop?
I mean, it's hard to win Super Bowl. It's hard to win Super Bowls, and you have a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and I don't know.
They don't just grow on trees.
No, they don't. They absolutely don't. So, just wanted to bring it up. I really wanted to get your thoughts because, like, the more and more of this stuff comes out, as a non-Green Bay Packer, like, I have nothing invested in the Green Bay Packers. If they do well or don't do well, it really doesn't matter to me unless they beat up Carolina. Like, I don't care. But, it's just, he kind of comes out and you kind of chuckle a little bit. And then I think, man, if I was a Green Bay fan, am I upset? Because it's like, hey, this is all we talk about is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers this, Aaron Rodgers that, whatever.
I don't think anybody cares.
And then it's, I think of, for example, your brother who hates Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah, and the only reason that he would come back is to not be on the same card as Brady. Like,
yeah. I kind of enjoyed Matt Ryan saying that he would retire on March 28th to keep the meme going, but I think he announced that he's coming back for another year. But no, I don't know. I just think with Aaron Rodgers, he played pretty well last year. I mean, he was a 10 to 15 range. Like, he was definitely above average. I don't know.
With a whole new group of receivers.
With a whole new group of receivers, and you look at his numbers, you look at his grades, you look at advanced grades. He was pretty good. He was at least pretty good. That's probably the worst you could say about him, is that he's pretty good. So, I don't know. I think he's coming back. It's just interesting. It's just interesting that it keeps popping up. Let's see. Is there anything else that we want to talk about? I know we talked about D'Amico Ryans last week.
Yeah. We can say that it's now official, because whether or not it was or wasn't at the time, that Wilkes is now defensive coordinator of the 49ers.
And I think that was a brilliant move by the 49ers because
absolutely,
Steve Wilkes is very beloved by the players. It's when he was with the Cardinals, everywhere he's gone, the crowd, everybody loves this guy, right? Very obviously, very talented calling defense. What he did with a non-playoff Carolina team the last year,
pretty good,
and I think it's brilliant. You go to the San Francisco 49ers, barring injuries, you look at that team and wow, that defense is real good. And I'm not taking anything away from D'Amico Ryan. I hate doing that. I don't want to be like that. I didn't love his strategy against the Eagles, but Steve Wilkes is going to come away with this. It's like, look what he did in Carolina. Presumably a top 5, top 10 defense. I would hope. And you're not going to have any, oh my God, he should be the coach instead of Kyle Shanahan. So I think it's a perfect position.
Yeah, absolutely.
1 year, maybe 2 years. Steve Wilkes, they'll be like, okay, we need to talk about Steve Wilkes again as a coach next year. Because, next year there's going to be a lot of jobs on the line.
A lot of chatter, I'm sure. And it seems like he wants to be a coach. So.
Oh, he definitely wants to be a coach. Because I want to just look ahead to next year.
Okay.
Just throw it out there as we're talking about coaching changes. Think about the coaching changes that could occur next year. I'm going to throw it out there. If the Dallas Cowboys do not win a playoff game next year, or at least look better than last year,
goodbye, Mike.
They could be using a new coach. I think my boy Ron Rivera is knocking on the door. The only reason he's not fired right now is because, hey, you know what? Maybe they're going to sell the team. They don't want to eat the dead money.
Yeah.
And then it's
Chicago
Bears, man. If they and this is I've talked about it a gazillion times. People are probably sick of listening to it. Coach has got 3 years. This is year 3 for Justin Fields. If he's bad, you've got 100. They're going to spend $100 million this year. If he's bad, you bring in all of these free agents. Same thing.
It might be another Ohio State quarterback.
Tampa Bay there's going to be. Bowles has got. You look at their situation. That's a horrible situation.
Bowles look terrible as a coach.
Look at the Saints. They went all in with Jameis Winston and Dalton. and it's going to cost them again this year. They have no quarterback. No quarterback. If you're not a playoff team, especially in that weak division, all of a sudden it's like, ooh. I mean, I'm just going through the NFC right now, and it's, the West looks pretty safe, But I mean, you look at
barring the Cardinals.
Those three,
the Cardinals are already going to have a new coach.
Right, but then we could fast forward. I mean, if the Raiders don't draft a quarterback, McDaniels is probably on the hot seat. Staley's on the hot seat. I would definitely say he's on the
Staley is absolutely on the hot seat.
We'll see what happens if the Colts, assuming they take a quarterback, whoever's there is probably safe. But again, you start looking around and you're like, wow, the Jets, if they throw up another stinker, if they don't get their quarterback, what do you do with the Jets?
I hate to say that because...
You hate to say it because you're like, oh, they're playing well, but they were 7-10, they were 6 and whatever.
Yeah, I know.
All of a sudden
I didn't want to say them, but...
Well, I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. If you're bad for 3 years in a row and you don't have a quarterback, what's your future at the coaching position? I mean, I think Sal is a really good coach, and this is year 2, but... Think about what he's done in his first 2 years. He basically took the number 2 overall pick, threw him in the street. Says
that wasn't his pick? No,
it wasn't. I mean, I don't think it was. No, I think he came afterwards.
Yeah.
But, I mean, who are the Jets going to end up with? I mean,
they got to get a free agent quarterback.
If they end up with Jimmy G, let's say they end up with Garoppolo, and all of a sudden, where does he go? Do you stick with him and be like, oh, we're going to find our quarterback this year? I mean, that's really the reality of the NFL. Is like you have 3 bad seasons in a row, 4 bad seasons in a row. It's a lot easier to move the coach and general manager around.
Could Harbaugh potentially be on a hot seat?
At the end of the year, I was watching the Ravens play.
Those last couple of games looked really bad.
I kind of shit on Lamar Jackson a couple of those early losses when he came back. But, some of the coaching decisions, like the Ravens lost to the Bengals, like all the players kind of came out and were like, why is Huntley getting the ball? Like, all of a sudden...
It's not a great look.
And we're going to have to...
The Pro Bowl quarterback, Tyler Huntley, by the
way. But again... Looking at the Ravens, is he coasting off the Super Bowl? I mean, their defense is really good. They have a pretty good offensive line. They've been rotating running backs, but it's like you trade away. How do you? This was something that will always forever boggle my mind. Tennessee Titans last year. We talked about it this past year. They trade A.J. Brown basically for, Burks.
Bag of Skittles.
Basically, hey, this rookie quarterback rookie receiver, where maybe one day he might be almost as good as A.J. Brown. Just throwing it out there. But then
Hollywood Brown wasn't that caliber, and I still don't think he's that caliber receiver. So I could understand that one a little bit more.
Right. Well,
But the only thing is that was his only outside threat. They didn't draft a replacement.
I mean, they got 2 pretty good tight ends, but they got Andrews and. But you don't replace it. You're just like here's our
They did nothing to try to replace it. Duvernay was their answer, and Duvernay's a punt returner.
Besides Mark Andrews, their leading receiver in the playoff game was Demarcus Robinson.
Oh.
Against the Bengals. I'm just saying against
okay. What?
You're saying, hey, we don't know if Lamar... And again, what happens... They're going to tag Lamar Jackson. They have to tag Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, because he's going to be tied to the offensive coordinator. We said this as soon as they fired Greg Roman.
And the reports already flying around, pull up Twitter, pull up ESPN, that Lamar Jackson and the front office are $100 million of guaranteed money apart. That's a lot of money. That's so much money.
Give me 1% of that.
Well, yeah, we'll take 1% of that. Yeah. And it's... All of a sudden with Baltimore, it's like, yeah, they're strolling around, but you lose Lamar Jackson.
Especially if Lamar shows out this year, he's gone.
Does he play on the franchise tag, though? Because I don't know if he does. I've thought about that. Does he?
The only reason I want to say yes is because the incentive that they're giving him to pick his offensive coordinator.
Right. I mean, again, I mean, he didn't come back for the playoffs. Like,
I'm in
I don't know.
I'm in the camp of where RG3 was coming from, because RG3 is a prime example in that case of
it just,
don't come back unless you're healthy.
I try to think of it from all different angles. Like you're as a teammate, you want Lamar Jackson out there. You don't want Huntley out there. No offense to Huntley, he was a Pro Bowl quarterback. But again, where do you is this the guy where he's like, you know what? I don't want to screw up my money. I'm sitting out. Like where does it fall all of a sudden? Now it's like now you got to pay him all this money. What happens next year if he gets hurt and he's a little limping? He's like, I'm not playing the next couple. Like, is that something we worry about? I don't know.
I don't think it was an injury like that though. It was a legit.
That was a very serious injury. It was watching him walk around was a lot. How much money do you give him?
Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
That's all I'm saying because
he's a running quarterback, so I literally have no idea.
If you're Baltimore and you're under, and he wants $100 million more than what you're offering, like,
just imagine if they're trying to offer him like 150 guaranteed.
I mean, he's obviously a very, I mean,
if you could say he would never get injured again, he's worth every single penny.
Well, realistically, I mean, just by inflation, we'll call it inflation, of salary cap inflation.
I thought we were going to be NPR for a second.
Oh, no, I'm not. I don't play those games. Pro Football Focus, Sports Track, who they do like contract projections, which is it's kind of cool. It's kind of they base it around certain people. They base it, hey, the salary cap's going up. Mm-hmm. So they're both have Lamar Jackson at a certain range. Now, the reason I asked you, not that I was trying to trick you or anything, but I was just curious. So they have basically the market value. Lamar Jackson around $40 million per season.
I was going to guess a little over 40.
Sports Track has him 6 years, 244. Pro Football Focus has him 5 years, 260. So, but they have $208 million total guaranteed. If you look at guaranteed that went to Mahomes, Watson, Allen, and Murray, where does he fall in that? I don't see how, because that's where it kind of throws it off, because Kyler Murray got basically $46 million
how can I do what he
per
did?
year. Right.
How do I do that?
Now, Lamar Jackson has put up better numbers than Kyler Murray.
Yeah. Well,
so
a lot of people have.
So if your range, if Kyler Murray's around 6 years, 230, a lot of guarantees. I don't know. Josh Allen was 6 years, 258, which is around $43 million a year.
I'd say he's somewhere in that range.
I mean, you have to, right?
Yeah, I give him a touch over 40.
A touch over 40. So, I mean, Pro Football Focus has $52 million a year.
Sure.
And that's just they're saying, hey, that's what it's going to, like, that's the market. That's going to be the going market because, let's be honest, $52 million a year, if he gets that, Burrow and Herbert's getting more. Like, that's undeniable. So you're looking at, by the time they're up, Burrow, man, what a steal that Patrick Mahomes contract is, right? Looking back at it, now he's not even going to be a top 10. They'll probably restructure it, but just throwing it out there with, I know we kind of got sidetracked here when we were talking about coaching, but just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Throwing it out there.
I'd give him a 43 range. I'd give him 43 a year.
It's like 5 year, so I mean, like I said, Sports Track has it 6 years, $244 million. Like,
I'm not giving him more than 5, I don't think, though.
Right, that's a lot of money. I mean, that's a long, long time. So it also, Lamar Jackson will be 26 when he signs his new deal, where Kyler Murray was 24,
yep.
Josh Allen was 25. So they were a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Year or two. Does that make a big difference? I don't know.
Depends on who you ask.
I don't know, but they're just where we're throwing it in there. That's kind of the range Lamar Jackson is. I mean, obviously, I don't think that's a great deal. Like, I think if he wants that much money, you got to trade him. But that's my personal opinion. But regardless, someone will pay him that much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody will pay him that much money.
It's so tough just because the modern day running quarterback just hasn't lasted that long. I don't care who it is; they just haven't lasted that long.
And I mean,
But do you weigh your?
Even to be fair here, like
you weigh your.
Josh Allen's taken a lot of big hits. And I'm getting the nightmare flashbacks because I was obviously a big Cam Newton fan.
Yeah.
And I saw him take hit after hit, and you're like, well, he's a big boy, but sooner there's some other big boys hitting him too.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, but is he good enough to weigh the odds and just say, all right, we'll give you the money. The guy's won an MVP already.
And honestly, too,
the guy's won an MVP already. I don't know.
When you don't have a quarterback,
I know.
Boy, that is a feeling.
You got Tyler Huntley. When you don't got a quarterback, you got Tyler Huntley. Pro Bowl though. I mean, at least you get a Pro Bowl.
But again, Tyler Huntley is one of the better backup quarterbacks, right? I mean, we'll give him a better backup quarterback than your average backup quarterback.
I'll say he's better than 15, but
yeah. So
I don't know how much better than 15, but he's better than 15.
Again, too, you can talk about it. The GM, the coach, you let Lamar Jackson go. What do the Ravens do? Because you got no wide receivers. You didn't draft any wide receivers. I mean, you're going to get a couple first for him, absolutely. But
clock's ticking.
I mean, honestly, in a dream world, if I'm the owner, I don't want to pay him. But if you're the general manager and coach, you have to because you're betting your career, you're betting your future of the Baltimore Ravens on Lamar Jackson.
Especially since what they've done the last few years.
And I mean, like they got rid of all the receivers. They need a receiver so bad. And I mean, I look at the free agents that are around. I mean, the number one wide receiver free agent market is Jacoby Myers.
Oof.
I mean,
That's a lot.
I mean, I don't even know who's number two. I mean, at that point, you're kind of just. I don't want to say you're scraping, but I'm gonna scroll down to see who's got the number two
God,
receiver.
Does this mean Allen Lazard's top 5?
So here's the problem: is all the big name guys. Juju Smith-Schuster. I mean, he got $10 million. Like that's probably the range for him, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
But Odell.
Yeah.
Odell, like I don't.
Odell's not going to want Lamar Jackson throwing him the ball.
No, absolutely. Well, I mean,
the
only thing I would say about that is if you give him a 3-year contract, he'll go anywhere. Odell, because I mean, I think he knows his writing's on the wall, but. Yeah. So, like, I'm scrolling through, like, the top 3, like, TJ Chark.
Yeah, that's not great.
Like,
it's not great.
It's not a great receiver. So, I mean, if you're finding a receiver, you're trading a guy who hasn't been re-signed, or you're taking a shot at the draft. And besides, I mean, you got
There's only a handful of good receivers coming out of the draft, even.
I mean, you got the kid from North Carolina, Josh Downs. You got Smith. Not Debelia there from Ohio State. You've got Quentin Johnson, TCU. I don't know who else you have at receiver where you could be like, hey, they're going to at least make some impact. So, again, you're the Ravens. You kind of have to pay them. I think Lamar Jackson knows that. I mean, otherwise, you're forfeiting this year, and you're probably forfeiting next year.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Scraping by to find something. And, but... We'll see. That'll be another thing that could be potential. We'll see.
It'll certainly be interesting.
We'll see. And then I don't know if you want to do a quick. I'm seeing some, and I've seen it on Twitter a little bit too. And our buddy here, Caleb, mentioned to me this morning. DeMeco Ryans has to take a quarterback with the number 2 pick, right?
I can't like we said earlier. I can't see running with Davis, Dougie Mills. Absolutely not.
Right. I just wanted to bring that up again too because like they were talking about it earlier today that he said, "Hey, we got a lot of work to do," defensive guy wants to build up the defense. They have some pieces on offense. They have some offensive line pieces. Their right guard, right tackle, left Tunzel, all first rounders. They're going to have to read up Tunzel's deal. But so they're starting to put a decent offensive line together. But just talking about quarterbacks, a lot of drafts now are saying that DJ Stroud could fall down. Levis seems like a lock to the Colts. But it's like, there's no way he can't take a quarterback, right?
No, absolutely.
I think Bryce Young to Houston is about as penned in as you could get, unless for some reason they fall in love with somebody. But I just wanted to throw that out there too because the more and more I seeing,
I think I'd rather have Stroud, personally.
Bryce
Young's my size.
Nothing
for nothing. Athletic as all hell. He's my size.
Do you know my issue?
I'm not eating hits from a defensive end.
Right,
I'm sorry.
Right. And I'm not a scout. We watch the games the best that we can. I mean, Young looks real good, but then as you said, you think about how big he is, and you kind of see what happens.
He's 185 pounds right now,
and he's better than Kyler Murray, right? Like he's better than Kyler Murray. I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there because we were talking about coaches, we were talking about quarterbacks, throwing it out there. Let's move to basketball. I think it's time. Let's talk about your buddy. I don't know which one of your buddies we want to talk about first. Let's start off with your boy Kyrie. Kyrie Irving, midweek, demands a trade. I'm going to take a weird take on this.
Okay.
But why don't you tell the story of Kyrie Irving? Because I don't know if you saw his interview like 5-6 hours ago, but
I did not.
Okay. Regardless, a couple days ago, Kyrie says, "You know what? Trade me out of nowhere." Kind of out of nowhere, I would say.
Well, I mean, he was playing great basketball.
As the stats showed, nobody put up his type of numbers ever been traded before midseason. It's not literally has never happened for 28-5-5 or 27-5-5.
Whatever it was.
Demand to trade out of the blue. His teammates were like, "We didn't know he was going to do it." Yeah. Nobody had any clue.
To be fair, I don't know if Kyrie knew he was going to do it.
His agents don't know. Oh, I want to talk something about football too if we have time. Remind me, Sean Payton.
Okay.
So Kyrie Irving decides he wants to be traded because the Nets would not give him a contract extension, which I think is wild.
Yeah.
After everything he's pulled the last few years. Now,
did he? I don't know.
I'm not going to defend him. Don't get this twisted. However, if you're in the situation where you're playing this well, a top 10 player in the NBA this year,
I might even give him top 5.
Well, give him top 5. If you want to give him top 5, I have no problem with that because he's had a hell of a year. Is it kind of not genius if they're not going to give you the contract extension? If he gets traded, which he ends up getting traded, good on the Nets owner saying "fuck this guy," not trading him to the Lakers. That's where he wanted to go. You have no shot of going there. Get fucked.
So good. And then, of course, LeBron crying afterwards with the Instagram post with towel over his head.
Whatever. But you know what? That has more to do with Kyrie than LeBron. Whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But is it not... If you're Kyrie Irving and they're not going to extend you, he can get traded. He gets traded to Dallas. Let's say they go on a hell of a run. Mark Cuban might give him his money.
Mark Cuban's a businessman. At the end of the day,
no. And I'm not going to say you're right or you're wrong about it. But I'm just throwing it out there. He wasn't getting his money with the Nets, no matter how well he played.
No, absolutely not.
The Nets, I don't think had a shot in the playoffs with their team. They went on a really nice run. Man, Boston real good.
I know they are, but
good.
The team that they...
I don't know, but the more and more that I think about it, I'm like, you know what? Maybe he's not wrong. He goes to Dallas. He said some horrible things about Brooklyn. Not horrible, but he kind of shit on Brooklyn 5-6 hours ago.
Yeah, because I saw that there was a headline here from Yahoo. They sent me that says Kyrie felt disrespected by the Nets.
Felt disrespected, said that he did everything he was supposed to do. He threw in there that, let's see, I'll pull it up. He doesn't want to go behind his back. That's not what he does. He's grateful for his opportunity, but he's like, hey, I did what I was supposed to do. Kind of insinuated that the other guys didn't do their job. I don't know if that's a shot at Durant. I don't know if that's a shot at James Harden. I don't know if that's a shot at...
I will believe all day long if that was a shot at James Harden, just because of their relationship that they had on that team.
Because last year, too, the big thing was James Harden was sick of Kyrie schooling him in practice, is what came out afterwards. Whether that's true or not, we'll never know.
Well, I mean, if you look at the matchups when Kyrie and Harden play against each other, Kyrie has a fucking field day.
So, I mean,
it makes me laugh every single time.
But, what a difference in modern-day NBA where the guy's giving you rough shot during practice. You're like, you know what? Fuck this guy. I'm out of here. But I don't know, because the more and more you keep saying is that, say, hey, like the front office wasn't honest. They said this. They said this. I want to be celebrated. I don't want to be ridiculed. I felt like, and I've talked about this in the past since we started this podcast. Man, I don't know what it is the past couple of years, but their teammates do not defend their teammates. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. And it's because from when I grew up, the teammates always defend. There was very, very, very rarely, and if there was a tiff between teammates, you very rarely heard about it, and they were quickly traded. Bye, see you later. But no,
that's social media, though.
Maybe it's social media.
That's the age of social media, if you ask me.
Yep. So now we're at the point now where Durant might be coming back after the All-Star game, is what I was going to say.
Yeah, they're holding him out.
But Dallas was the number 6 seed, right? Mm-hmm. They just picked up Kyrie Irving, and they are 1 game back. Is it 1 game? So right now they are about 2 games back from the 3 seed. Do they end up with the 3 seed? Because all of a sudden, I mean, that's such a tight race in the West. I don't know. I mean, that's a big upgrade they took on Kyrie.
Absolutely.
So let's say they get the 3 seed. Is he getting his money?
Right? I think they gotta make a run.
That's all.
I think they have to make a legit run at the title.
And that's just why I wanted to throw out there, because I was like, this is dumb, this is dumb, this is dumb. And then I sat here and I thought about it, and I was like, well, Dallas was middle of the road. You have Luka and not much else. I mean, they are the most efficient scoring team in the entire NBA with Luka on the court. They're literally dead last without him on the court. Like, he is the whole team. He is literally the whole team. Yeah. So I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah. No.
Throwing it out there where if Dallas goes on a run and they get that 3 seed,
I think they need a legit shot at the finals.
Because we're gonna see the Suns. We'll see if they go away, if they get better. I mean, everybody thought they were going to be a top seed. Right now, it's Denver. You called it at the beginning of the season, Denver, Memphis, but we knew Memphis was going to be good. And that's kind of, the Sacramento Kings are playing well. I don't know if I'm a big believer in the Sacramento Kings this year. I mean, so far they're doing well.
They're playing team ball. That's what's keeping them in it. They got one of the most dynamic guards in the league, and they're playing team ball.
I just don't know. It's so hard to win when your point guard's your best player. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
in the NBA, if he's your go-to guy in here, it's very, very, very hard to win with your point guard as your best player. But I'm just not defending Kyrie. Dallas gets that 3 seed.
And the other thing I will say, too, if he wanted to be celebrated and not ridiculed or whatever... It was too good.
We got a guess.
That was too good.
I love that.
If Kyrie and company had won a championship when they were in Brooklyn, I don't think he's getting ridiculed right now.
Whose fault is that?
I don't want to say it's anybody's fault, because honestly, those 3 played 6 games together as a group. I think it was injury bug. It was unfortunate timing. I
hate to say it too. I think when they panicked and they traded
Harden
for Harden, I think that was bad.
Yeah,
because
they gave up. I didn't.
When that trade happened, they traded away their size. Straight away.
Jared Allen's one of the best centers in basketball.
And look what Cleveland did last year.
Jared Allen, for nothing else other than that, Jared Allen is one of the best centers in basketball.
But and it's also too. Durant has called out his teammates like, "How am I going to win with these guys?" Is there
as Cam Thomas has now
youngest player to score
43 consecutive games?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just who do you blame at this point? Because Kyrie, he put up numbers, but he's a weird dude. Maybe that's not fair, but
I blame that Harden trade.
Is it the Harden trade? But why did the Harden trade happen? Was it the front office?
Durant.
Was it Kevin Durant?
I'm going to say it was Kevin Durant.
Because Kevin Durant, boy, we were talking to a couple of people amongst the gym, talking to a bunch of my friends, and I like to shit on LeBron for doing this, but holy shit, Kevin Durant, it's like, well, I need 6 superstars to win. I need this to win.
Yeah.
I need this to win. Then he has the superstars, and he's like, well, I don't want to be third fiddle for the Golden State Warriors or whatever his issue was playing with the Warriors. And then this guy can't...
Because when all 3 of them were playing and all 3 of them were healthy, that team was unbeatable. Damn near unbeatable.
No,
I think it was a health thing. It was unfortunate timing, and that's what dissolved the whole thing.
It's just so wild that they blew this up.
And it also
a year and a half? It wasn't even a year and a half?
Well, it also didn't help, I have no issue standing behind Kyrie for it with the whole vaccine mask mandate thing, that's a whole different discussion. That's a whole different discussion. Yeah.
But
I have no issue with that because there was a lot of people who were getting maybe mistreated in workplaces for all of that stuff and everything like that. So I have absolutely no issue with any of that. But that also hurt the team.
But regardless though, whether he plays
that year,
vaccine
he plays that year, it's a completely different story again.
But if they, and that's the thing is if they don't win a championship, we probably still end up in the same spot as we were now. I don't know. I don't know. The more and more that I look at this, I feel like it's just Kevin Durant. God, is he just... I never used to have a problem with Kevin Durant. Not that he gives a shit if I have a problem with him. Not that he cares if I have a problem with him or not. But it's just, he is obviously a tremendous scorer.
I think...
Early in career, he was a very good defender. I don't think he's a very good defender now. But the only thing... I've never... This guy is like, man, give me this guy. Give me this guy. I want this guy. I want this guy. I don't like the coach. Get rid of the coach. It's like, dude,
I know.
What the fuck, man? You wanted to come to Brooklyn because you said the Knicks dropped the fucking ball. You're like, no, I don't want to go to the Knicks. They're idiots. But I want to go to Brooklyn and I want Kyrie. You asked for this.
Yeah, I know.
You asked for this, and then it's and then in the offseason he's like, I want out. I don't want to be here. I want out unless Nash is gone. Just kidding. I don't have a problem with Nash, but if he leaves, no one's mad about it. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there that I feel like they kept tinkering with their team and they never gave him a chance to play.
No, absolutely not.
And then you get Harden, and maybe Harden and Kyrie didn't get along. We'll probably never know. No. Maybe after their careers are done and they have their 30 for 30. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It's all weird to me. The whole thing.
But I just wanted to not again. I don't want to defend Kyrie because he's done some weird shit and he said some weird shit, but. Maybe he's not wrong here. Maybe he's like, you know what? Durant's hurt. We don't know when he's coming back. Ben Simmons, goodbye. Goodbye, Ben Simmons. I don't even know. I don't even talk about Ben Simmons. He sickens me. Yeah. I don't know. Is he playing? Is he going to play? Is he not going to play?
Who knows?
He left the group chat because they asked him if he was playing. That's whatever. Whatever. But so Kyrie now goes to Dallas. If he plays sort of as well as he has been, Cuban's going to pay him that $200 million, right?
I don't want to say yes, but
what else do they have? They have
Cuban's almost as much of a wild card as Kyrie is, though.
He is a wild card, yeah.
But now the Mavericks
won't take the shit from it either, though.
No, absolutely not.
If Kyrie does some weird, I could see Mark Cuban being like, "Hit the bricks. I don't care. Go away. I'll pay you. I got enough money."
Now, obviously, you get Kyrie, tremendous talent.
Yeah.
If it was nothing else, he's a top 5 player in the NBA. But now you have no depth. They had little depth before. Yeah. Now you have even less.
I don't know what they're going to get out of Morris, but I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what you're going to get out of him. You're going to slide Kyrie in.
Because now does Luka turn into the 2 guard and Kyrie's the 1? Or does Kyrie go to the 2 and Luka goes to the 1? Like,
I kind of feel like just the way they're playing and the way their stats roll out is I wouldn't be surprised if it's a lot of Luka at the 1. When he takes his break, Kyrie stays on the court. He runs the show, bring Luka back on, swap it like that. In crunch time, the ball's going to be in Luka's hands.
I still think Kyrie brings the ball up only because Spence was kind of bringing the ball up a lot of the times in the crunch time.
But also, too, you got to give Luka some sort of break. Like, this guy has been an animal all year, playing insane minutes, insane usage. Like, we looked it up. Like, he was on an all-time 5 season. But you know what? Kyrie and LeBron made it work. I'm not saying Luka's LeBron, but he's sure fucking playing pretty damn well this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's he averaging? 34 a game, 33, 30, whatever, somewhere around there. So, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I actually didn't hate Kyrie going to Dallas for Kyrie. Whether or not it was the right way to go about it, just throwing it out there.
The Nets now, though, have to make a big splash before tomorrow. Or before whatever time.
The 9th. I think it's Friday, right? Or Thursday. I don't know what day it is anymore. I think it's tomorrow. Tomorrow, depending on when you're listening to this, it's tomorrow, the trade deadline.
But the Nets have to make a big splash because if not, if they don't...
They got 3 first-round picks, right? They got the 76ers, they got the Nets, and they got Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Because they got from the Ben Simmons trade.
But now it's... Either you got to go make a big splash for another... give me DeMar DeRozan.
It looks like the Bulls are fire sailing. You could pretty much take whatever you want from the Hornets.
Give me DeMar DeRozan.
Hornets will give you whatever they want. They don't care. Bulls and Hornets look like they're the big sellers. Unless there's a wild card coming out, like you're kind of looking at those 2 teams. Does Oubre Jr., DeMar DeRozan, Scary Terry.
I'd love to see DeMar DeRozan.
You could pick any of you could probably get any of those guys.
Or you got the Raptors too.
First. The Raptors, but the Raptors, like
they're kind of dragging their feet, but they're
they were kind of in for Kyrie, kind of not, kind of looking to sell. I don't buy the Raptors selling because who are they going to sell? Siakam, like I don't know if I would sell him.
Nah, like Siakam's good.
Right, like I'm not selling him. Scotty Barnes there said they're not trading him. So like, what else do they have?
OG Anunoby, who's also real good.
He's like, I don't know if that. Why would you sell them? Like, I don't understand. But again, you have a very small, very, very, very small group of guys to pick from.
But if you cannot get one of those guys, at this point, gotta trade Durant.
Right, but
because then you got to blow the entire fucking thing up.
Well, who's going to trade for Durant at this point? You're going to have
Celtics.
I mean, so here's my problem with trading for Durant right now. If Gobert was worth 4 or 5 first-round picks, Durant's got to be more, right? Do you give up Brown and 5 first-rounders for Durant? You're already in first place.
Miami Heat,
I could see, but again, like, who do you give up? Do you give up, like, do you start giving away your bench for it? Do you just give up draft picks? I mean, you have to make the salaries match.
Yeah.
If you're Brooklyn, do you just blow the whole thing up? And
I think you have, because if you don't go get somebody to pair with Kevin Durant right now, I mean, obviously, like we said,
is he even going to come back? Because I mean, he's got an MCL sprain. It looks like he's going to be a little bit after the All-Star break, but they keep losing games, and you have 3 first-round picks. Is he coming back? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because what's he got? 2 more years? He's got 2 more years, right, on his contract, or maybe you? Because I know
it's at least something. There's at least another year.
So yeah, I don't know. The Nets got some time. I guess we have 1 minute left. I know you weren't a fan of it. Congratulations, LeBron James. Slow clap. All-time scoring leader in NBA history. We can get more into it into next week, but regardless, top 5 average of all time. Played 20 freaking seasons. We could discuss later, but just want to say congratulations.
Yeah.
This is LeBron James. It was cool, I guess. Kareem was there. Kareem took the picture with him.
Probably less than impressed.
Probably not thrilled. So, yeah, I think that's it, huh?
Yeah.
All right. That's a quick hour. I feel like that hour flew by.
Yeah, that was flying.
It's fine, I guess. Till next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.